Bombardier beetle. A small, ordinary-looking bug doesn't seem dangerous at first glance. But this bug carries nature's deadliest chemical weapon in its rear end. When threatened, the bombardier beetle sprays a 100-degree chemical liquid at its enemy. And it can do this by firing up to 500 times per second in rapid succession. Almost like a machine gun. So how does this little bug pull that off? The bombardier beetle's body contains two key chemicals, hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone. When danger strikes, these chemicals are sent into a special reaction chamber. There, catalase and peroxidase enzymes kick in. A powerful chemical reaction erupts instantly. The temperature shoots up to nearly 100 degrees. Pressure spikes from the oxygen foaming up. The result, a scalding, lethal spray. What's interesting here is that the beetle doesn't harm itself at all during the explosion. How? Inside the beetle there's a one-way valve system. At the moment of the blast, the flap of this reaction chamber snaps shut in 1/1000th of a second, preventing the near 100-degree hot chemical from leaking back into the beetle's internal organs. Now let's meet a lizard with a completely different kind of defense system. Horned lizard. When this lizard gets cornered, it doesn't run, because it has a very bizarre weapon. It shoots blood out of its eyes. Yes, you heard that right. How does it do this? When in danger, the horned lizard constricts the major blood vessels in its head, cutting off blood flow to the brain and rapidly increasing pressure around its eyes. The pressure in the eye sockets builds to such an extreme level that the lizard's eyelids rupture and a pressurized jet of blood shoots out toward the enemy's face from as far as 1.5 meters away. The enemy is blinded, and a disgusting chemical taste spreads through its mouth. Because this isn't ordinary blood, it's a foul secretion mixed with toxins from the poisonous ants the lizard has eaten, nasty enough to make dogs vomit. Bullet ant. Picture a massive ant roaming the tree trunks of the wild forests of Brazil and Peru. It measures a full 3 centimeters, a monster compared to ordinary ants. But its size isn't the truly terrifying part. It's the giant stinger hidden behind it, which functions as a biological weapon. Some victims stung by this ant have compared the pain to being shot with a gun, which is how the ant got its name. Yes, you heard correctly. The moment it stings, a vivid, burning pain begins, as if you'd actually been shot. Scientists have recorded this as having the highest pain threshold in the insect world. Entomologist Justin Schmidt gave this ant a rating of 4.0 plus on his famous pain index comparing insect stings. That's the very top of the scale. Schmidt described this pain as feeling like walking over burning coals with a 3-inch nail embedded in your heel. But the pain doesn't stop at the initial hit. The neurotoxin it injects, called ponerotoxin, completely locks up your nervous system. The stung area swells instantly, tremors begin, and a wave of burning spreads through your entire body. And this torment continues, in waves, without letting up, for a full 24 hours. That's why locals also call it the 24-hour ant. But here's the even crazier part. The Satirma tribe living in the Amazon uses this creature in a ritual. The tribe's boys must, as a rite of passage into manhood, and to become true warriors, put their hands into gloves filled with hundreds of live bullet ants, and keep them there for a full 10 minutes. Now let's move on to an even crazier ant. This one is, quite literally, a suicide bomber. Exploding ant. On tree trunks, small worker ants patrol to protect their colonies. Colobopsis saundersi. From the outside, they look defenseless, small, and weak. That is, until a bigger, predatory insect crosses the colony's boundary. A predatory spider or a larger ant corners this small worker. There's nowhere to run. The ant has no claws, no stinger, and a weak bite. But it has a far more terrifying plan. Nearly its entire body is made up of massive glands filled with a sticky, toxic liquid. And in that moment, to protect its queen and nest, it makes its final decision. Boom. The ant contracts its abdominal muscles with such tremendous force that its body, unable to withstand its own internal pressure, essentially detonates like a grenade. The ant's back and abdomen split open and burst outward. The sticky, bright yellow liquid released in the explosion instantly paralyzes the attacker. The enemy is blinded, its legs stick together, and it dies on the spot from the venom's effects. A tiny worker sacrifices its own life without hesitation to save its nest. Next up is nature's most flawless, most lethal, and coolest sharpshooter. Archerfish. Picture a small spider resting obliviously on a tree branch above the water. The fish sets its sights on this spider. It approaches its target. Its large eyes lock onto the prey above. It pokes its mouth slightly out of the water and presses its tongue against the roof of its mouth, forming a barrel shape. And fire. It launches what looks like a water bullet from its mouth, knocking the spider down. What's incredible here is how accurate the shot is. Because light bends when it passes from air into water. That means the spider the fish sees isn't actually where it appears to be. Despite this, the archerfish calculates the refraction ratio of light and water in 1,000th of a second and adjusts its shot to the target's true position. Pretty amazing, right? The fish snaps its gill covers shut with tremendous force, compressing the water inside. What shoots out of its mouth isn't just a drop of water. It's essentially a pressurized water bullet. Traveling at a full 160 kilometers per hour, this water laser strikes the spider on the branch dead on. The instant the water bullet knocks its prey down, the archerfish has already begun jetting toward that spot at top speed. By the time the spider hits the surface of the water, it's already in the fish's stomach. The entire operation takes just 0.1 seconds. What's more, these fish are so skilled that they can hit their prey purely by sensing the vibrations it gives off, even in pitch darkness. See you in the next video.